and welcome to One Stop Co-op Shop. Steve here with two awesome people. How's it going, Bairnt and Canje?
You can't count yourself when you say that.
That's why I said two awesome people, not three.
you and Barint? Yeah, y'all are awesome.
For sure. Or I mean, no, it's three awesome streamers. That's what we are. It's great to be here. Thank you, Steve. Canje, always a pleasure to have you here. This is going to be an absolutely exciting episode. You have to watch this all the way to the end to get the super secret information. No, I'm totally kidding. There's nothing super.
I wish there was secret information.
Was it Dakota ring? Was it remember to drink your Ovaltine?
That's right.
A coming commercial.
Totally forgot about that. That's amazing.
I watch that movie religiously every Christmas.
I love that movie. Unfortunately, Kim does not, so it's a...
What?
You know, everybody's got their movies on Christmas. Like, I like to watch The Ref and Die Hard, and my wife showed me Elf last time, and I was like, oh, it's okay. She's like, how do you not think it's hilarious? I'm like, it's fine. And like everybody I tell's like, Elf's like the greatest. How are you not laughing? I'm like, oh, it's okay.
Which movie was that one?
Elf.
Oh, I don't like it. I do not like that movie at all.
It was okay. It was fine. I'd rather watch The Ref or Die Hard.
The only thing in that show that I laugh about was when the narwhal was like, "Bye, hope you find your dad." That's about it.
Well, it's good to see everybody in the chat. Thank you all for joining. This is going to be awesome. If you want to talk in the chat, please do. We love to hear from you, and we love to respond to everything you say in there. We've got a fun show lined up for you, and I'm going to have the MC Steve take it away.
Yeah, we're going to talk about Christmas movies today. No, I'm just kidding. Surprise!
We can do that. We can do that. Don't. I don't think you want that.
All of a sudden, I don't have a script anymore.
No.
Anyway.
This is a weekly live chat where we focus on board game topics and with a cooperative slant, so it's different every week. But this week, I feel like there's a lot of like really big and potentially really good games coming on crowdfunding, and so I want to run through a bunch of them with you guys today. So kind of like figure out, hey, is this game for me? Is this not? Which one should I put my money in? Because the problem with crowdfunding is they're expensive, and we have limited funds. So how do you figure out where to put your money and what's going to be good for you? That's a tough one.
The problem is
I struggle with that.
The problem is that the world doesn't realize we're supposed to be rich.
I didn't get that memo.
Once the world figures that out and gives us money so we're rich, then we can afford all these crowdfunding. It works out.
So it almost seems like in the recent months that Kickstarter and GameFound have kind of reinvigorated themselves, like because there's a large moment there where Kickstarters and GameFound had a hard time really finding the backers needed because there's a lot of other things people were focusing on and in the world, and also and now that it seems like things have kind of calmed down a little bit, it seems even more. I shouldn't say it's not fully calm, but I think it seems like now there are these games coming out that people are able to start investing in again and helping. Fun, which is really cool, and there's a lot of really good ones, and I think that's the other thing. And there were great ones before. It's just it was harder because I think that people were focusing on other things at the time.
Yeah.
Let's start going down through this list. Now the ones we covered today, I'm not saying these are the only ones to focus on. There's plenty of other good games out there. These are just the ones we happen to highlight. So some of the big names. So first one on the list you see pulled up is Warcrow. Was it Warcrow? Warcrow,
and
Warcrow Adventures.
Content for this?
I was supposed to get a preview copy and it never came. But I played it at Gen Con. So.
Like Snow comment here. The key is to find the perfect project and ignore 99% of the rest. There's just so many out there. It's so
that would save me so much if that was the case.
It would. My shelf would have like 2 games on it.
I was just telling these guys when I sat down my computer to talk, I was like, okay, hold on a second. Now you had to like move like 9 things around down here. I've got like a whole like conglomeration of board games. It's been like board game delivery system in my house the last like, couple weeks, and so it's like they're everywhere right now. But anyway, yes, it'd be nice if we only had to deal with 1% of them.
Cool.
Yeah. So Warcrow is it's an interesting one. If anyone has played Descent Second Edition, they get the general sense of Warcrow. And I just say general, right? Not that's exactly what it is. Because it's an app-driven narrative game, just like setting maps, putting down, place explore token is indicated, that type of thing. So it's just like that, setting up the board, but the combat is different, 100%. So it's kind of building the board is just like second edition.
Okay.
Combat is different because the turn order, the initiative board is something new that maybe other games have had, but I've not had that experience with it where you have an initiative number. So this is a perfect picture that you have here. You have an initiative number from 1 to 10, and basically you start on that number. So enemies get placed first, then heroes, right? If you and the enemy have the same initiative number, you stack on top, which means you go first. After your turn, you move your initiative number around the track. So it would be, let's say your initiative is 3, you start at 3. After you take your turn, you move to 6. Then the enemy goes, and the enemy's initiative is like 3. So then they will move to 6, but they will go next round. And you have cards and abilities that let you shift around the initiative track. So you're not always at 3. You could get pulled back 1, you could get moved forward 1. There's potential for you to take 2 turns before an enemy activates if you know how to play your cards right? So there's a lot of ways to manipulate the initiative board through actions that you take as a character, which I think I thought it was very interesting when we played with it. I think after the first round, I was able to go twice before the same enemy who would have killed me activated and was able to defeat it. There's also the dice. So if you played Infinity Defiance, I played it on my channel. I played a couple missions, and I believe William did it as well on his channel.
Yes.
So the Hungry Gamer. But basically, the way that the dice operate is that when you roll the dice, you're attacking someone, but they can block it and hit you back, and vice versa. So attacks aren't one-sided; they're they work both ways in the way the battle flows. There's also scroll back up a little. There was you passed the other thing I was going to talk about. That, yeah. So the hero cards themselves, how they activate is, you see those cubes that are at the top. You can spend as many or as little as you want to activate abilities, but in a row, if you see some of them are like dark brown and some of them are black, you have to spend that many cubes to use the initial part of that ability. If you spend the extra cube, like on the second line, you'll get an extra thing that you can use. And each character is diverse in how those work. For instance, the caster has kind of a push-pull mechanic where if you use a lot of your power, you gain corruption. So because you're pulling magic from places that you shouldn't be. So that's kind of how it lines out. I don't want to. I could talk about this for a long time. I don't want to spend too much time on it, but it's just, I like how this stuff sets up. I love the narrative of Infinity Defiance, so I think this one will be great as well. And I think this is a great option to pick up.
I have a comment from Jan here. He said, "I get the feeling Warcrow is very true to his wargame roots." I mean, that's
yeah. No, it's a dungeon crawler. It's the second edition dungeon crawler. It's not. They have a separate module that they're making these characters so that you can wargame with them. Right? They exist in the Corvus Belli Warcrow universe where you can, but this game is very much a dungeon crawler.
Yeah, this one looks really cool. And you demoed this, right?
Yeah, I demoed it at Gen Con.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah. Are you backing this one?
Oh, I already backed this. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You sound like you were backing
this. After playing this at Gen Con, like I said, I loved Infinity Defiance, and they are not making these metal miniatures. That's one of the things that hurt my soul, because it was like you had these metal minis that the Infinity universe is full of metal minis for their war game, and then you have to put them all together. In this one, they're saying that they're not doing that. They're doing hips plastic, and it is coming with and it's coming pre-assembled.
That's a relief for many, many board gamers. War gamers, we're okay at assembling miniatures. We have no problem with it. Even metal ones, which are a pain in the Batuski to try to assemble. But yeah, I think for board gamers, it's really, I mean, that's one of the hard sells for Shadows of Brimstone is the assembly part of it, and even Kingdom Death at times.
Yeah.
Speaking of Kingdom Death and dying and dead things, what other game do we got there that everybody's rooting for here, Steve?
Lots of games. Hey, thanks for the sub, Steve. Yeah, we got lots of other stuff. So let me.
Yeah, something segue you with like death and dying and evil and.
That was a segue.
This is little game.
Oh, there it is. Cthulhu Death May Die. Oh, he got the segue. All right, good.
That was a segue. So Steve, what's next?
Yeah, this one has got a lot of people excited about. Actually, it's already at the time of the recording, almost 1.5 mil. So yeah,
it's
they're
going to
doing
keep
fine.
This is a huge game for. Is it Cool Mini or not? Right. That's the one. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, this is one that I'm backing-ish. For those that don't know, Colin has absolutely everything for the first edition of this game. So he is backing this 100% full all in for the second edition. So I'm super excited because that means I'll be able to play it. Not only that, he's got a fully painted set of it. He actually painted all of it. Looks really nice. It's super cool. And he's going to probably do the same thing with this one. Cthulhu Death May Die is a very tense game because as you take sanity towards the end of your life, you actually gain power, but you get too much, you'll eventually go insane, and that's the end of the game. So you really have this push-pull mechanic on how much you want to gain insanity, but you need it in order to be able to level your characters up to fight through and get to the bad guy. These are all one-and-done missions. They're not a campaign, which is another draw for a lot of people. Is you can put this on the board, play again. It's also a mix and match type thing. They have scenarios that kind of go together, but you can also like mix and match different decks and things like that to create like your own experience that you want to experience. It's really fun. There's unbelievable amount of people to be able to grab and play with. So if you haven't seen it, check out Colin's playthrough on One Stop Co-op Shop. Did you do a playthrough this one, Canje?
I have everything Cthulhu Death May Die right now. One of my buddies, he backed it. We used to board game together when we worked together, but he got out of board gaming, and so I was like, "Hey, can I have all your stuff?" And so he sold me all his. So I have everything from the first Kickstarter campaign minus the massive Cthulhu. But I don't need
Cthulhu here in my house. It's actually Colin's, but
wow.
Our wives are basically fighting us to give it to the other people. His wife is begging him to give it to me, and my wife is begging him to give it back to Colin.
So here's a question then, since Canje, you own everything so far. From Jerry says, if you're new, is it okay to back season 3?
Yeah, it's a standalone. You don't need season 1 or 2 to play it. It's just you have season 1, season 2, the Unspeakable box, and for those who got the massive Cthulhu. You have it all. This is just more stuff. It's for you to get. It's typical. Come on, right? It's kind of like saying. Should you back Zombicide 2nd edition when you have Zombicide Black Plague? Right.
Or Marvel X-Men. If you have Marvel X-Men, do you need it? Even though you have Marvel.
Yeah. They're you can be fine with this just by itself. I backed all of this to get all the good stuff as well, so I'm part of that 1.5 million that have given money to it. But honestly, the barrier to entry, I thought it was going to be worse, right? But they only have one pledge level, which is $100.
Yeah, and
then they've only got one add-on, which would take it to 130. And as long as they don't have any more add-ons, I'm good.
So far, right?
So far. I hope this doesn't go the way of the Marvel Zombies, where I was super excited for it, and then I had to back out because I was like, I can't. That's just
too much.
Yeah,
it was just too much. I was like, I didn't even do the base game. I was like, you know what? I could probably pick the base game up outside if I.
Yeah, you'll pick the base game up retail,
and it's going to be probably sadly, I don't want to say this because I don't want to hurt people's feelings or anything like that, but I might even be able to get the base game before the Kickstarter delivers. That happens with like the Marvel games every once in a while, where just that base game, and I'm like, I could probably get it. And I know there's a lot of cool things in that thing, and that Galactus is probably the greatest miniature I've ever seen in my life, but it just, there's a time and a place you have to say stop. And even when we're talking about these today, there's a time and a place that everybody has their breaking point. I mean, we're not Ted DiBiase, we're not the $1 Million Man.
Oh my gosh, Ted
Yeah, you love that.
I love the retro wrestling name drop. I love it.
Oh yes, but like you said, I think, I don't know if they learned from it or if this is a whole separate like group. I know it's still Cool Mini or not, or a different like way of doing it, but this is a way, like you said, more feasible Kickstarter. And I wonder if they, I mean, I know Zombicide did fantastic. The Marvel Zombicide did reached astronomical amounts of money. It's not like it didn't do well, but I wonder if they're kind of going like, hey, let's go back to our roots and kind of really get the people like a way to get into this or something. You know what I mean? I don't know.
Yeah. And if you're curious on Marvel Zombies, you can get the Heroes Resistance on Amazon for $35 and just be good with that if that's where you want to sit. Steve and I played that at Gamepalooza, and we both enjoyed it.
Yeah, that looked really fun.
I really like that one. Yeah, so one thing I've got pulled up on the screen now for Death May Die, they added a couple of new things to Season 3. So they have plug-and-play enemies, which is kind of interesting. So it brings, my understanding, you correct me if I'm wrong, brings the enemies outside the episode box into your adventure. So you have a lot of more variety in that way. And you also have relics, which you can gather, and they have double size. As you get more insane, the relics might tempt you more to flip over to the evil side, I guess. So, but yeah, lots of good stuff in this one. Only a few miniatures though, right?
Yeah.
in typical Command fashion.
That's right.
Right. That can just add that to my pile of opportunity that I've got over here.
Oh God.
It keeps growing. I still have white minis out here I got to work on.
So yeah, tons of. This one's fun. I enjoyed this one. This was a good one. I'm debating on. I'm not a big horror fan, and I don't really have many. I just don't. Do I have a Lovecraft game on my shelf? I'm not even sure if I do that at this point. So I'm tempted on this one, but at the same time, I just don't like the growth monsters. So.
I get it.
So, okay, let's keep going. Let's move on to another game that no one's heard about. So we're the first ones to talk about this game. I'm totally joking here. Game called Oathsworn?
Never heard of it.
What is this game?
We're on mission 8. Super good. There's a house. I got nothing to hold up.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Oh, here we go. I got some right here to hold up. Here, it's not. Oh, that's not Oathsworn. Okay.
So yeah, this game probably doesn't need much introduction, honestly.
No. The only thing I'm a little upset about with this Kickstarter is the fact that if you're a previous backer and you don't want all the bells and whistles to increase your character, your game, you're missing out on some of the extra stuff that they're giving away for free, which I think is kind of sad. So I mean, I already have this, so all of a sudden they put out the metal dice. Well, if you have the all-in like upgrade kit for $95, you get the dice for free. Otherwise, you got to pay $10 for them. I'm like, really? I don't know. Kind of wish they would have just given those that backed them from the beginning, just like, hey, you're those that were part of the original Kickstarter. You're going to get this as long as you pledge and can prove that you're one of the original backers. We'll get you the set of dice or something. I don't know. Does that make sense?
Yeah. And this is I'm on mission. I'm going to be going on mission 4, chapter 4, and I love this game. Like, I'm not going to spoil anything, but chapter 3's narrative, I was like, what? This is incredible. So the boss battle on chapter 3 was fun too. So I'm curious on how chapter 4 is going to shake out.
I have a good question here. He says, what is really new in this Kickstarter? I thought gameplay was basically the same, no extra scenarios, etc. Only version 2 rules?
Correct.
Yes.
And bells and whistles that gonna make, like, they have like new, like, cooler looking dice. They got a dice tray. They've got If you already have all the stuff, that is, which is what I do. And there's an extra mystery box now, which I won't be getting because I didn't back the core game, so I don't get the new mystery box. So, which is kind of sad. I mean, am I suffering from FOMO here? No, I think I'm suffering from I have enough Oathsworn here, so I don't have to really worry about it, because I just wanted the upgrade to the rule books and things like that. So I just the 2.0 rule book system, and then I also picked up the metal dice because I want them. I think they're cool, but a lot of the other stuff is really just it's just, what do you call it?
Ooh, the thing vanished.
Flavor candy? I don't know. Whatever.
Yeah, I for people who are curious, is like, oh, they're just doing a money grab. They're not. This was known that they were going to do this.
It was also
they
known
announced
adding anything to it. It was
they announced this way. Jamie announced this way ahead of time, was saying there's going to be another Kickstarter for people to back the game who hadn't backed it. We're not adding anything to this one, and I think Toby said the same thing too. But they said that the next Kickstarter is going to be the brand new stuff because they're building it out now. So they're expanding the world, they're expanding the story, and the next one that they do is going to be the next expansion.
It's going to be the next big thing.
Yeah.
This is like mostly a reason for people to get in on if they missed out on the first one.
Right. Because when it's their first Kickstarter for Shadowborn, and when they came out,
it's almost like Gloomhaven. First time,
well,
people did back quite a bit, but everybody's like, I don't know, they've never done a game before. I'm not sure if I really want to. I'd hate to get burned, you know what I mean? And now it's proven that they are a reputable company that uses the wrong shipping company. They're going to be probably be able to blow everything out of the water with this Kickstarter. This one will probably, or I don't know if it's going to reach huge heights because so many people back the original one. How much is it at right now?
2.2.
All right. I think it has to get 12 million before it's going to be able to beat anything. I think Kingdom Death, Gloomhaven both got up in the 12 millions or 14 millions or something.
Yeah. So
out of control.
Yeah. So this one will be. I think they'll do fine, and then
they're gonna do just fine.
Yeah,
they're gonna be just fine for a long time.
And what's really great about this for people who are getting in on this version of it is everything's already made. So all they're doing is just printing and shipping, right? There isn't the downtime of we need to make the molds, we need to test the molds. It's all
we need to finish the story, we need to test it, we need to make sure it plays right, things like that. No, it's good to go. And from what I've played of it and Canje has played of it, it is good to go. It is good. We get in chat a lot like, oh, how would you compare this to other games? Like, and every time we're kind of like, this really is. I mean, I haven't made my full list yet because it's only November, but I can't find a game or even think of a game that's going to top this as game of the year.
I'm still struggling between two.
You are struggling between two. What, this and Parcheesi? I can't think of anything else.
Parcheesi. Hey, Parcheesi's a great game. What are you talking about?
That's why it's number two. Yes, there are some other fun games out there. I will give that. But this one has blown my mind in all aspects. The campaign of it is just insane. The story, whenever you think that, oh, okay, let's see what they're going to do next. I mean, they've done some really cool things. It just keeps getting cooler.
That makes me excited for Chapter 4.
Mandatory commented, this is a Kickstarter again, showing it is for a pre-order shop, not a place for creation of new stuff, which is, that's true for here. Yeah.
This one, I can understand that. I can understand that people think that, well, it's just a pre-order. And yes, I think it really, because they are a small company, they couldn't just build massive amounts of these and just have them in a storehouse. This is the true real what Kickstarter really should be. It's not cool when you're not coming in with a game. It's companies like this, Shadowborn Games, that never made a game before, really want to make a game, and they did a really good job and they made it. And then be able to come back to Kickstarter, be able to give the other people that didn't get a chance to back it a chance to get it on the game, because they can't just make these games and put them on shelves. It just doesn't work for them. Kind of like Gloomhaven, and the same type of deal. I mean, now you're going to see Gloomhaven everywhere, but before then, it was really, you had to have you had to get Kickstarter because they didn't have the ability to make a game like that.
Yeah, same thing with Kingdom Death. They came on Kickstarter twice before they went on doing their own thing.
Yep. I mean, I backed the original Kickstarter, which was the probably greatest purchase of
deal ever.
ever. $150 for a $400 game and $15 for each of those expansions. I'm like, yes, please buy them now. So yeah, so I can yes, this one I can really see as being more of a pre-order because you are those that there's nothing new really except for glitz and glamours that are coming out for it,
Sure.
which is fine. I think that this is some of the stuff that Kickstarter needs to let happen because this really helps these companies then springboard into something new because they're able to get that more people into this game that are going to want to continue it and see more of it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, makes sense.
Maybe not.
Yeah, Oathsworn into the deep wood. One in on it, you got another chance.
And you can get the standee version. And
people who don't like to paint minis, get the standee version.
Standee versions are fantastic. Actually, to tell you the truth, I should probably get more standee versions because then I have less piles of opportunity that need to get painted, and I feel like I'm running out of time here.
Well, moving to a different game that you don't have to paint miniatures for because, well, I guess there's some miniatures in it, but I don't know if anybody's ever painted them. We have Spirit Island is coming back to crowdfunding. This one is not on Kickstarter. It is on BackerKit, so just heads up there. And yeah, coming back for more content for this one. This one is the expansion for Nature Incarnate. This is not a standalone. You do need Jagged Earth, I believe, to play this one, if I remember correctly. Which is
wait a second. Hold on a second here. Since I am an aficionado of Spirit Island, I'm not at all. Jagged Earth, wasn't that an expansion?
Yeah.
Yes.
So, but okay. So, do you need the core box too?
Yeah.
Okay, so you need to get everything in order to get this one up and running.
Pretty much.
Oh,
there's the core box. There's Branch and Claw. There's Jagged Earth, and now there's Nature Incarnate. Branch and Claw is like a smaller box. You don't really need that one, but honestly, if you like Spirit Island, you probably get it.
I might get it because it's got a cool name.
Yeah, Jagged Earth added events, which this also runs off of, so you wouldn't be able to use those elements in the core game. I think Jagged Earth is going to be a staple expansion to get going forward. So
yeah, and Jan said Fire and Flame as well.
Yeah, Fire and Flame, which is the promo boxes. So they promo.
Yeah, yeah. I got this game from one of my subscribers that contacted me because I said I'd never played Spirit Island. Steve almost got out his chair and slapped me. And so they were like, "Hey, I got all the stuff. Do you want it?" And they sold it to me for super, super cheap. So thank you so much for that. So I have everything, I believe, so far. But when I went to Game of Palooza, Steve sat me down. We played the game. It's fun. I just have to learn how to play it properly.
Yeah.
But it's fun.
It's one of those games that you really have to sit down. My opinion is you sit down and like let it sink in because there's just so much happening at one time.
Yeah.
So it is. I actually didn't like the game the first time I played it. I had a really bad experience at a convention. But luckily, Colin's like, "Dude, just try it again. Play it again. Trust me." And yeah, this is my number one game. So I'm obviously back in this one. So
yeah, I like it. Yeah, and I plan to. I want to play this game probably like 5 times solo. I want to do it solo so I can get, because when we were playing 3-player, I was like, what? Huh? What? But I was getting it. It was just taking. I think solo will really settle it in for me.
It's a lot.
So here's my gripe about Spirit Island. Okay, first off, I'm 100% victorious in this game, which is fantastic. Right? I've never lost. First game I played with Steve was awesome. We played on Tabletop Simulator. First time I ever played on Tabletop Simulator. First time I ever played online with anybody on a board game. And it was fun. I think we did it during the pandemic, wasn't it, Steve? We did it? Something like that. Anyway, sadly, I've also played a couple other times since then. And my biggest gripe with it is every time I think I've got like this super awesome thing I'm going to do because I've got all like these neat cards and I've got like everything I'm ready to do. The game ends. I'm like, why did it end right now? I want to go like 2 more turns. I want to do something really, really cool. I've got this like really neat thing I want to do, but all of a sudden it ends. I'm like, oh, all right, it's over. We won.
Oh, that's because like when you get to phase 3, you just need to destroy. We only won because of that thing where it was like just kill all, like, was it cities, and then you win.
Something like that. I don't know how to play enough. I just kind of I honestly am going through a lot of the motions on my character and letting Colin control the board. He has it's that's because he knows the game way more than I do. But don't get me wrong, it is a good game. It's on my top 100.
Yeah, I love this one. This one is adding this Incarnate, which is
Mhm.
interesting. So it adds these special tokens that are going to represent your presence on the board. And so let me explain actually the game if you're not familiar with it in the first place. But you are playing as spirits on an island, and Spirit Island, of course. And there are colonists coming to the board, and you're trying to kick them off, either by defeating them or scaring them away. That's the goal. And you are placing your presence on different spaces, and then from there you're playing power cards from your hand to try to do different things, to destroy cities, towns, explore, move things around. But in this one, they're adding these Incarnate tokens, which are presence tokens that have two states to them. And so you have to like awaken this additional power, and it also signifies it ties into your special abilities, what you can do. Like there's one new spirit is a giant like mountain that's a turtle, and so he's able to with his Incarnate token stomp on location. So he's running around like a giant kaiju and stepping on explorers, but he can only step on them where his Incarnate token is, for example, which is really really interesting. Another one has a void of darkness, so it's pulling anyone who's alone can get sucked into this darkness void and never be seen from again. And then it's adding those tokens, which is new. It's also adding aspects. Aspects are variants to play with previous spirits. So there's one of the spirits in the core game. Ocean is awesome. And ocean, the problem with ocean is it comes in and out of the ocean tiles. It can't really reach into the middle of the island. Well, now you have these additional tokens where you can turn, you actually sink parts of the island, turn into ocean. So the ocean can actually encroach on the rest of the island, and you can reach the center more easily, which is really really interesting. But yeah, I am totally in on this, all in, very excited for this. I love this game, so good.
Yes, and I will play it anytime with Steve and Colin whenever it's on the table. I do enjoy playing it with people. I don't think I would ever own it. Snow's got a comment here. I came to really appreciate games that are light till the very end, and you end up feeling like you still have much to explore in the next game. This is very true of Spirit Island because
Yeah,
most of the time I have cards in my hand I really want to play, and I never get to play them.
yeah, for sure.
That was my sadness. I was like, "Why can't?" So it's like, really, I get this. I just drew this really good card, and I don't get to use it because the game's over.
Yeah, and I like when I played. I only played it once at Steve's, but I played the Lightning Bird, whatever it's called. Right, I'm still new and learning,
I
but
think it's called
I
Lightning Bird.
it's called Lightning Bird. So
Yeah.
I played Lightning Bird, and my thing was I I needed to figure out how it worked,
Yeah.
and it wasn't until the end of the game where I was like, okay, I see what I should have done. I see exactly
Mhm.
how this creature works, and now if I play this character again, everyone's gonna die. So,
And
but it,
yeah, you're right. There's so many spirits that are like that. It's just like once you figure it out, you're like, oh my gosh, this thing is awesome.
Yeah.
yeah, and that lightning bird was amazing.
The spirits play very, very different from each other, and it does take a while to figure that out. And it's not just like a placard. You have a placard that tells you what the spirit does, and you can level up and draw different paths. But you also have power cards, and you just have to figure out not only like what's a path for leveling up, how to use my innate abilities, and how to play these power cards to be the most efficient. And that's just playing your spirit, not to mention like the board itself and all the things going on. There's a lot to think about and a lot to play. There's a
Yeah,
lot of leverage to
yeah.
pull too, because you can play with events, you can play with adversaries, you can play with scenarios. You can mix and match however you want to do all this stuff. It's quite a bit going on. Quite a bit
Yeah,
going on.
and since my last visit, I was like, yeah, Steve and I gotta meet up again. So I think we're gonna turn Game Palooza into a monthly thing.
Yeah.
And so when I come back over there, I want to play some more Spirit Island. So
That'd be pretty
that's my
awesome.
whole point to say that I want to play more Spirit
Well, we're gonna
That's fantastic.
play pretty soon here. We are doing Extra Life next weekend.
Island.
Oh, that's
Hmm.
right. We are.
I could plug that in. So Extra Life, we're raising money for
I
children's
love your
hospitals, and
segue, Steve.
Kanji and I are
Steve,
gonna play
that
Spirit
was
Island on
Segway
that one.
City right there. Segway City right there. Boom.
Yeah,
Plug it. Now
that's
plug
right.
it as I talk over the top of you.
And we will play Spirit Island next weekend
No
on
pressure.
Extra Life.
Not like everybody's gonna be watching you play.
Ah!
That's pretty awesome. I have a question. If you were a colonist thinking of, I don't know, expanding your empire, and as you're landing on this island, that there's lots of islands out there, right? And a giant turtle steps on you, would you all just not just leave and go somewhere else? I mean,
Yes. Well, the game cracks me up sometimes because I was playing Volcano one time, and Volcano, obviously, you're on a mountain and you can do
yeah,
massive eruptions. You should wreck house. It's really fun. But so there's some people who built settlements on the volcano, and I took advantage of that and wiped them out. And then a
yeah.
little while later, they built more settlements on that same spot. I'm like, don't you see the rubble? Don't you see the previous houses? What are you doing here? Come on.
It's a pretty funny game. I love playing the game with people. I could never do it solo. I just couldn't do it.
The thing is, I think I have to, or else I won't understand it fully, because there's so much going on when there's multiple people playing, that for me to be of use to my my co-players, I need to play it solo so I can figure it out.
That's, I mean, and honestly, the game didn't really click for me until so I played on the con, bad experience, right? Then I played probably like 2 more games, and I kind of got the grok of the rules. And it wasn't until about 10 plays in where I was like, I got it. I feel like I understand
Yeah.
the flow of the game. I can run through it, and that's normally it takes me about 3 to 5 plays to feel that way for games. This one took a lot longer. It's a tough game to like really wrap your head around for sure.
Yeah, but it was fun. It was just I just didn't understand how that bird worked, and so once I saw it, I was like, oh, I've been playing terribly this whole time.
The chat is actually phenomenal right now. Snow has given us a great concept to talk about in the future, about dungeon crawler leveling and its ups and downs, and how it could be done well and how it can be done poorly. They're having a really cool conversation about
That's
it.
a good one to talk about. I've been seeing that pop up a little here. So
And also, Marcel has told me that the reason why they don't back down is because bullies never back down. They just they double down. So even if you step on them, they come back.
that's right. That's right.
Obviously, you've never watched a Karate Kid movie.
Or Cobra Kai.
Or Cobra. Well, in Cobra Kai, do they come back? Because I know Karate Kid, he just crane kicks him in the face, and that's he leaves him alone
usually what happens.
for the rest of his life.
No, I actually thought that was one of the greatest moments in Cobra Kai is when like Johnny's student kicked one of Ralph Macchio's students in the face. I thought that was that was awesome. It's like, oh, I gotcha. And that's not really spoiling anything. Don't worry. Okay. Anyway, what do we got next, Steve? Sorry, I'm going off topic really quick.
No worries. We got one more game to talk about.
My son
This
gave me
one's not on Kickstarter yet, but it will be very, very soon. That's why I included it in the list. It is Slay the Spire. It's coming on Kickstarter November 1st. So this is a video game. I play the video game probably daily, honestly. I love this game.
It's fun. It's fun.
Yeah, I have it on my phone. It's on
a Steam game
too.
It's on the it's a Steam game.
Yeah,
it's a deck builder. So
yep, it's a deck. It's a solo deck builder. So it's only a solo video game. But the board game come out is going to be a 1 to 4 player cooperative deck building game. So that makes me even more excited about it.
Yeah.
It is supposed to be 4 or 5 minutes per player. There's not a lot about it, but I was seeing a playtester talk about it a little bit, so I can give you some more information about this one.
Yeah.
So let me go to some pictures because there's not a whole lot of information on this. So, but Slay the Spire, the whole point of the game is you're playing as a hero. There's heroes with different innate abilities, but you are trying to climb. Let me find a good picture. Here we go. The Spire. So you're starting on this path on the bottom of the screen, and you'll be moving along this grid, and every space you move into will have some events. So it could be like a question mark, could be it's a random event that happens, or it could be a monster phase where you have to fight a monster, and that's where you play out your deck. There's places where you can rest at the campsite to heal up or upgrade your cards. There's a lot. There's a lot that goes on in this game, and the cool thing about the video game, at least, is cards have memory. So if I play this card, every time I play this card, it gets +1 damage. For example, I'm making something up, and so, but that is for the entire time I'm playing the game. So if I get that card early in the game, it will have 1 damage, and maybe at the end of the first time I climb the Spire, it might be +10 damage all of a sudden. So it keeps adding, which is really, really cool. But yeah, so you're fighting to the top. When you get to the top of the act, you have to fight a big boss, and you have to do that 3 times to get to the top of the Spire. The Spire is this tower you get into. But yeah, so it's interesting because you look at the map and you try to figure out what path makes the most sense. And the cool thing about it is it's not just a deck building game, but you also get relics, which are additional powers as you play. So it's not, so you're trying to figure out, like, I've got this cool power, can I leverage this card or this my deck system to strategize with the new power I have, which is really, really fun.
Yeah, I'm interested in this one. I played the tabletop game. I mean the IP, and had a lot of fun with it. So if the price is right, I'm in.
Yeah, so the playtesters I heard they said it was very good, so which is a good sign. Also, it sounded like it plays in about 1 hour to 2 hours, depending on player count and how much you talk. So it sounds like there's a lot of chance for discussion. I think it plays simultaneous as well. I'm not positive on that.
Sounds like this sounds like this has you written all over it.
Yeah, that's what I'm excited about this one. I reached out to them like, hey, can I preview this one? They never got back to me, unfortunately, but I tried.
That sounds cool. I probably am gonna get in on this one because I like the IP.
I don't need more deck builders, but this one looks cool.
Yeah,
I'm gonna influence Colin to back that.
Yes, no, you're Barint.
I am. I'm a terrible human being.
There was another.
Spire looks so cool, but luckily I just had 6 past big bags arrive in the last 2 weeks. I'm overflowing with shelves. Yes.
Successful Geek, I don't understand the issue. That just sounds like you got a ton of games to play.
That sounds like a good thing. Exactly.
That sounds like a good thing.
My email address is below. If I don't have it, you can just send it to me. I'll just put it out on my floor here because I don't have any room up here. I shouldn't have said that. My wife probably heard it, and she'll say yes. So. Okay. That looks pretty interesting. Now, is there? Oh, sorry.
Oh, good question. I'm gonna jump in this real quick. Hold on. Do you stick stickers on cards or just replace for upgrades? I'm pretty sure it's replaced for upgrades. I haven't seen anything about stickers you mentioned yet, Jan, but I don't know a whole lot yet about the game. So
there she is. I thought she might be up. Nope.
But yeah, I guess that's the whole point I wanted to do this topic, is because there's so many good games coming on crowdfunding, and we've got so much already coming. Like, how do you pick between these ones? And I think these 5 we've discussed are all really good backs. They seem really fun.
There was one that I had that I was like, it would be I forgot about it until you showed Slay the Spire here, and I was like, dang it, how could I forget about this, or else I'd have had you added to the list. Heroes of Might and Magic 3.
That's a board game?
That is a new board game coming out, and it looks gorgeous.
It does, but I'm actually really disappointed in it.
I remember playing the video game ages ago.
Yeah. What were you disappointed in, Steve?
Because it's basically a competitive game with a solo co-op expansion.
Do you feel that it's a bolt-on type of thing?
No. I mean, I understand the video game. It sounds like being competitive makes sense for the IP, which is fine. But for me, we are very focused co-op players, so the game looks awesome, and so I want to get it. But if it's competitive, it probably won't see much play. So.
Fair enough.
So it's more from a personal standpoint than hey, this was a bad decision standpoint for the game.
Yeah, it may align itself, because and just me checking in with you, wasn't Skyrim competitive, but it has a co-op thing that you can do if you want to play co-op?
Oh, the adventure game? No, it has a competitive mode in it, but it's basically a co-op solo. Actually, it's basically a solo game, to be honest. With co-op and then competitive, oh yeah, we can make competitive work as well.
Okay, I gotta continue on. I'm gonna look this up.
But yes,
because I feel like
it is a 2 to 4 player competitive game. and it does have an expansion that's gonna. Because I just read the rulebook recently, and it has an expansion
Okay,
that's
okay.
gonna make it solo campaign, which looks cool.
Solo campaigns were that's where I sit.
Definitely.
So yeah.
Yeah,
There
because it
is a
has a. You can do the only co-op I saw in Heroes of Might and Magic is it's teams, so it's 2v2, for example.
Gotcha.
So
There's one more game here that's not on Steve's list.
what's that?
It's my family game that is coming to Kickstarter that people should be interested in. CoreQuest is doing an expansion. If nobody's
Yeah,
ever heard of
Core
CoreQuest, it has also made my top 10 list probably in the last year. It's a absolutely fantastic family dungeon crawler. It was, for those that don't know, it was designed by I think a member of Board Game Geek at one time and his daughter during COVID as a project for school. And it has expanded into this absolutely massive universe that kids from all over the world could enter like their art designs and things like this that were then put into the game. And they've now got an expansion that is on Kickstarter right now. I strongly recommend taking a look at this. And when you're looking at all these games and going like, oh my gosh, it's like $300 to do this, oh, it's $200 to get this game and all that. This one sits at a lowly, I think, like 35 to 40 bucks.
Yep.
And you get an astronomical amount of content because you can also go onto their Facebook site and you can get what other kids have done for like adventures. They have the kids have put out their own monsters, their own missions and things like this. Now, of course, remember this is a very family oriented one. I mean, there's one where like you had to help an orc find, like get a birthday cake to the orc or something. So I mean, it is very family, but it's a very awesome, easy to get into dungeon crawler, better than any I've seen when it comes to like helping kids get into a genre of games that are really, really cool. My wife has actually taken, I have 2 copies of it. I had one that I backed and he sent me one just for helping him get the Kickstarter through. I did a playthrough for him. And she took that one to school, and the gaming group at her school grew exponentially because of this game. The kids all wanted to play it. They all wanted to be part of this. I mean, to the point where they're over the limit of how many people you're supposed to play with the game, but she just kept putting it out there and letting them play. It really didn't matter. They're just having fun. That's
right.
As long as you're fun in the game, it doesn't matter. So we're already back this. We're probably going to get a couple copies of it so she can bring it again to school. So if you have kids that, and not only that, it helped these kids really kind of embrace each other. That they normally, these are kids that probably wouldn't have hung out in school together, but they're all hanging out together in this little gaming group that happened to be in like during like downtimes in some of that school. So they were able to come to this place and play together that they normally wouldn't associate with each other because they're not really friends out in the school. They're in, but once the gaming group hits, I think it's very similar to a lot of the stuff that we do. I mean, we have friends that we hang out with, but then we also have some friends we really like to play board games with that might not have been friends we might normally have connected with. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And so, yeah, this is an awesome game. I'm talking it up. Boom. Check it out.
Here's a fun question from Marcel here.
Steve doesn't know this, but he's going to put a link to it in the description of this video.
Yeah, I can do it.
Yep, you love it, Steve. You love it when I say that.
Thanks. Marcel's a fun question here. So, do we feel that every game needs to have a solo co-op, or is it better to focus on a singular gameplay mode? I feel that solo mode is basically a requirement in every game nowadays. Not necessarily true, because some games just can't do it. Like Paint the Roses, there's no way to do solo for that one. But I think the expectation is that I can play each of the games solo in some way, shape, or form is there. And to be honest, it helps a lot, at least for me, when it comes down to teaching a game. Because if I can sit down and play a solo game first before I bring it to people, like even if I'm not intending to play the game solo for most of the time, so it's just I can grok the game and understand and teach it better to other people helps a lot. So that's my opinion. Solo is probably one of those things I would lean towards having in most games at this point.
I really think that if you have a co-op game, you almost always have a solo mode because you can almost always play a co-op mode solo with 2 hands, 3 hands. Is this kind of what we're going with, or is it like having a completely different version?
And that's where I'm on the fence, and I'm on the fence because no, every game doesn't need a solo mode. I don't think every game needs There are games that are out there that I can't play because they don't have a solo mode, but everybody says they're great, and that's fine. Or like Bairnt said, that if it doesn't have a solo mode, if it has a 2-player mode co-op, I can just play two-handed and be fine. I don't think a solo mode is mandatory. As a solo gamer, I prefer it, but I want to make sure that The problem with making it mandatory is that it turns into this bolt-on thing,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
A lot of devs make their games to be 4-player because they're like, everyone has friends. I have friends. Everyone has 10 billion friends that they can play games with, so everything is fine, and anything else is weird. And so they make games that are 4-player that you have to control 4 characters or something of the like. And it, I get it. It's just like if I can play 4-handed and be fine. Marvel Zombies, Oathsworn, all these other games. I think if you want to make a game that hits the entire audience, you have to consider a true solo game. And if that doesn't scale with your mechanics or with your story or with your narrative, anything your game, then don't do it. Don't do it. I don't know. I don't know if that made any sense or I was all over the place. It's just more, I don't feel it's required, but I think it's recommended.
The one that
But I
I
don't
always shy away from is when it's a competitive game and it has a solo mode. That's where I really have to dig into the game to see if it's worth it, because
yeah.
that's sometimes where it could be a tacked on thing, or something of that nature. And then again, if it's a solo mode, yes, only I can play with solo people or I can play competitively. It's very few of my games I play competitively, because the gaming group I have is not very good at, I shouldn't say not good at competitive games. They're great at competitive games. That's one of the problems. It's I play competitive games with my gaming group because they're good at games and they have a specific way they play their competitive games that is not beneficial to me. So I try not to do competitive games. If it's a co-op game and it has a solo mode tacked on, I can't even think of a game that. I mean, is it? I mean, are we talking something like Madara where you can add in those like extra cards so you only have to control 2 people instead of 4? Is that kind of the solo mode we're talking
I
about?
mean, even that seems like a bolt on to me.
Because I don't
Right?
think you need it. But you're coming from a
Yeah.
person that has no problem running a whole ton of characters at once.
Right,
Do I get
right.
things wrong because of it? Oh yeah, I get things wrong all the time because I totally forgot a card I played over here with like the X guy. But I mean, it's okay. That's what subtitles are for, right? I mean,
yeah.
so
Yeah,
I would rather play that. I would rather play with everything there. I'd rather play with what they wanted the game to be as a solo
yeah,
player, as
yeah.
opposed to cutting out 3/4 the content to just, even with Oathsworn, you have those cool like extra little companion cards. I would rather play with 4 Oathsworn with their full decks to be able to experience how those characters all get to work and grow. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? But of course,
I would go the other way, and I go the other way than that. I would rather play with all 4 companions than any of them full boards. I love how quick it is.
Quick.
But Successful Geek did have a great statement. He said, "Just get Turksy to design all the solo modes, and you'll be fine."
Yes, no, and if you can't design a good solo mode, don't design it.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. I did look up. I got to go back to this. I went and pulled the Heroes of Might and Magic rule book, and the solo mode is not an expansion; it's part of the core game.
Oh, part of the core game. Cool. Okay.
Yeah, so it's a competitive 2 to 3 player if you want to play it competitive, but there is a full on campaign that is solo mode only,
Right.
and you go up against an enemy AI, and then the expansion is the Alliance pack where it's the 2v2 thing.
Gotcha. Yeah. Yeah, but it's the campaign that's only soloable. You can't play the regular game solo.
Correct. The campaign is only that.
Yeah, you need like a bot to make it work or something, I think.
Yeah, and somebody will develop one.
I'm sure they will.
Mike likes making that stuff, so somebody, him or somebody else will make one, because I think he did one for the Super Fantasy Brawl, because I was like, oh, I got that game. Oh wait, I can't play it because it's competitive multiplayer. So I sold it, and he made a solo mode for it.
Yep. That reminds me, Canje, you have Shoal, right?
Yes.
Are you planning to do a playthrough of it at some point? Maybe.
At some point, maybe. I'm still watching yours to see if I'm keeping it or not.
Well, case in point, if you do decide to do one, that has technically a solo. It has a very similar style as Oathsworn, where you can use the bots that are instead of actual characters. Where if you saw my playthrough, I do all 4 characters because it's super fun to play all 4 to try to experience how they all like interact with each other. But you can also play just one and then have these bots that are going to be stand-ins for the other characters. If you're interested, servoids, I think is what they're called. And if you hear my playthrough, I'm like, or you can use these servoids. We're not going to be doing that. If you're interested in that, go watch. I would rather play 4 characters. And I probably made some mistakes because of it. I don't care. I'd rather see all these fun things.
And I think like, because your brain it works that way where you can see the 4 characters and you're able to manipulate them and use them at their full potential, and like that's amazing because I can't do that. I think I cap out at maybe 3, but
that's why it's not a live play. It's not live. There's after I do something with one person, I'm looking at all, so I step back for like 3 minutes, going, okay, now how am I going to get to there with these 3 characters? That person does that. That guy's got that. I do have these cards I can use. Okay, I think if we did this, okay, and then grab that. So yeah, I have to step back a lot of times during my recordings to kind of figure out the best next move. Is where you're doing it live. I can see that being it would be hard because that'd be a 3 minutes of me just talking about what I'm thinking I'm going to do. When you do a video on demand, you can actually, that stuff all gets edited out.
Yep,
which helps a lot. Exactly. So yes, I can understand if you're doing, if I was doing a live playthrough of Oathsworn, I'd probably do it like you, where I'd have to control 2 characters, maybe a couple of companions. But having Colin there, we're each able to go back and forth with each other with characters and stuff. It's a lot different when you actually have another player. So I think Steve's might probably experience that as well. Being able to have Kim there with him has probably helped be able to, he can kind of think of his strategy while she's going through her motions, being able to not have as much time. They're going like, okay, so if I do this with this guy and that with that guy, you know what I mean?
Yeah, Marvel United really, really becomes a game I love whenever I play with Steve and Kim, because it's like, we're all talking, we're all sorting it out. And where it's me, I'm like, oh my God, how am I going to do this? And my brain is running through these different methods of what can I do wrong? And so, but with them, they're like, well, wait a minute. Well, what if we do this? Well, let's, and we talk about it. And then the game just becomes even more amazing.
It's a great co-op game for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's gonna
right. Kickstarters are great. We didn't get off topic at all.
No, never this chat. We never get off topic.
Sorry.
But yes, I think we'll end this for this week. Next week, are we gonna have a co-op? We're not gonna have a co-op chat. Sorry, we're gonna have a co-op thing. Something happened at co-op chat time because it'll be the 3 of us playing a game.
Yep.
Because we're doing Extra Life together. So, but we won't have an actual chat like normal. So
we're playing a game together.
Yes.
And you can manipulate it with donations to help the Children's Hospital.
That's right.
What game are we playing?
We're going to play Marvel United because it's a great 3-player game.
Nice. Every time you donate to us, we get to do an extra action, or you can make the bad guy draw a card.
Oh, don't do that one.
Or, I mean, no, don't listen
to me. We would lose like immediately.
Really good plan. Steve's got a great plan for donations. You get to add new either civilians or bad guys to the board.
Oh.
Okay, not that one either. Steve's got some plans.
Yeah, we'll have some fun. I'll post that soon, probably middle of next week. All the fun ways you could help manipulate the games for us. But yeah, that's happening next week, November 5th. It's gonna be all day stream. Be a bunch of the one-shop guys. We're all gonna be helping out at various times throughout the week, so it should be a lot of fun.
We'll be rounding it out at the end. We're doing, Colin and I will be doing a live play of Project Elite, which is going to be Mass Chaos. And then we're going to end it with our Aliens game, which is going to be fun. Don't forget, you can donate some money to put some aliens on the board in both of those games, which would be absolutely brutal, or give us an extra roll out one of our dice for any of those games. So it'll be really fun. I think it'll be an absolute blast.
Definitely.
Yeah, I'll be joining in on it too. I'll be playing... Like Steve says, we'll be playing Spirit Island together, but then I'll also be playing a game on my channel as well to help out.
That'd be awesome. Now, when you're doing Spirit Island, can I donate some money to make it so 100 settlers enter the board out of nowhere?
Yes. But why would you do that to us?
Well, because I can watch the master at work.
That would not be me.
In order to see that happen, we have to invite the master to that game first.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, so Extra Life is going to be happening next week. It's a huge charity donation. It spans, I think, video games and board games. We work really hard together to try to help children's hospitals for that day. So any money we make at all on anything that day is going to be going toward the children's hospital. It's going to be an absolute blast. It's one of my favorite things to do every year. So that's why I always try to make sure I can get in a lot of different games for this.
Play against 2 countries in Spirit Island. Oh, that's tempting. That's tempting to such a game. I'll talk to Canje about it. We'll see. We'll see.
Hey, I'll play whatever you put on the board. Just don't expect me to win. That's all.
I will tell you, if we get enough donations during the Aliens game, I will drop an alien on myself. I do have one in this house.
Yep. So let's talk about so we're obviously doing Extra Life was a big thing next week. What else is happening for you guys coming up? Canje, how about you start?
Halloween's on Monday, right? All right, so tomorrow is Arkham Horror, the card game ends with Conspiracy and playing with Kate and Cynthia. Tuesday, Oathsworn and Marvel United. I don't know what Thursday. Friday, Gloomhaven Friday, and then Extra Life. What about you, Bairnt?
Yeah, you got it all planned. That was pretty amazing. That was good stuff. Colin is actually coming on Tuesday because Monday is going to be Halloween, and we are going to be doing not Oathsworn. My Patreons have voted on a scary themed game, and the winner was Nemesis. So we're going to play through Nemesis. Colin has never played Nemesis before, so I'm going to make him play Nemesis with me. Then in theory, I'll have another painting stream either Wednesday or Thursday of some kind or something. I have Extra Life on Saturday, and over the course of the week, I'm going to try to be recording my ISS Vanguard playthrough. That is my plan.
Yeah, I got to get that scheduled because I unboxed it. I unboxed mine yesterday.
I'm also going to rise the ranks really quickly for Game of the Year. I have a feeling after reading through what I've done, read through so far, this is a good chance.
Yeah, I'm gonna go through the tutorial with chat like untouched. What about you, Steve? What do you got coming?
So tonight I'm reviewing Skyrim, the Venture board game. So if you want to hear our thoughts on that one, that's happening tonight. And tomorrow we do have a quick stop prepared. So Kim's got no one's going to be dropping around 11 Eastern Standard Time. Tomorrow I also will be doing a quick product review of this coin side. I use this coin a lot. It's next to me every time I stream. So I'll be doing a quick product review of that also tomorrow. Monday, I think we're going to be doing Pandemic Legacy Season 0. Continuing with that. That might change due to Halloween, but I think we're still going to have that day. Wednesday, of course, will be Marvel United campaign with Canje, we've been doing. And I won't be doing anything else the rest of the week because I'll be focused on preparing for Extra Life. But I believe Peter's going to be doing Marvel Champions on Friday. And then Extra Life all day Saturday. So
Marcel had a question in the chat. He said, oh, no, sorry. It was not Marcel. It was Successful Geek. He has a question. I wonder if there are any games that actually make you feel scared at some point, like a good horror book or movie. This one. This is a game by Key Enigma. It is called The Butterfly Curse. I don't know if it's written backwards because of my camera.
That's right.
My wife and I, we got from Key Enigma. Right now they're on Kickstarter. They're doing a Kickstarter for their Circus one. These are escape room games. Big fan of these games, like the unlocks and exit games. Love these games. This game right here, I plugged it into the computer. It has physical components like you're seeing in the box here. And then it also has a electronic component where it has like websites. It has auto resend emails. So if you email it, it like resends you an email that probably, and it goes along with the game. And you got to uncover kind of what it is. It's an escape room, right? So we played the introduction of this for about 3 minutes. We turned it off because we were too scared. We couldn't deal with it. Scary. I mean, this was ridiculous. I couldn't believe how scary this game was. It was where we stopped. I can't do it. It's gonna sit. I'm gonna ship it to somebody. I'll ship it to somebody who loves horror games because that was out of control. I couldn't believe it. I think Ryan from Meeple Marathon, I think, wanted it. He also did there's 5 of these games, or 4 they've done in the past, and they're doing their 5th one. And he got 2 of the ones, and I've got the other 2. So both of us did like a little video for him if they wanted it. And he got one that was like about wizards and super cool things with kids, and I got the horror game, and I'm like, oh boy, I'm gonna switch those up because I'm not good horror imagination. I can't deal with horror stuff, but I love horror games, but not when they're like that real. That was real. I was like, oh boy.
That was real.
So I mean, yeah, it was real an escape room game.
Yeah.
So if you're looking for a good horror game, go check out Key Enigma. They're on Kickstarter right now. Try to get yourself the Butterfly Curse. That was out of control.
Yeah, I don't think every game I play where I have to roll dice is a horror game.
That's amazing, Canje. You cracked me up so much.
It's a gift, Canje. It's a gift.
It's my curse and
That's
my
right,
gift
curse,
at the
there you
same time. It's my gift to you, but my curse to bear.
Yeah, I don't really get scared. I don't play a lot of horror stuff, but even the horror games, I don't get scared. The only game that I feel like a sort of scary tension, I would say, is a U-Boat. That's because of the soundtrack or the music, and like when you hear the depth charges coming at you and they get louder and louder, it's almost like footsteps coming for you. It's like, oh my gosh, is it gonna get us? Is it gonna get us? And there's a lot of tension for sure.
I'm surprised no one has made Barotrauma for U-Boat, like an expansion for U-Boat that's called Barint. I don't know if you've ever heard of Barotrauma. Barotrauma is basically U-Boat with Lovecraft mixed in. So there are creatures trying to crush the boat. There are creatures that creep on the boat through the torpedo tubes. And then you're being hunted.
That sounds horrific.
So I was like, I'm surprised no one has made like an expansion for a U-Boat that is Barotrauma.
Cool. All right. Well, that's going to end our stream for today. Thanks everyone for joining, and we'll see you at the next stop.
Take care, everybody. Don't cut me off. Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.